Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we break down whatever news we can get our hands on that is inspiring, uplifting, that has to do with Puerto Vallarta or our state, Jalisco, or our country, Mexico. We take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions on how to better connect with one another and with our destination as a community of English speaking locals. That's what Coffee and Headlines is about. And this morning, on March 9, it is a pleasure to meet you again. If you're here watching for the first time, let us know so we can give you a nice welcome. If you're watching live for the first time, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a lovely little welcome. If you have something really important on your in your mind, here we go again. If you're thinking of something that you want everybody to know about, or you want a reaction to or an answer to something that is important to you, add a capital letter Q at the beginning, and we'll be so very happy to tackle it as best as we can during the broadcast. So today we have all kinds of interesting news, more news about reactions to the increase in toll highways. We have a breakdown of how much it costs. We took a look at how much it costs to fly from here to Guadalajara. We have news about an art exhibition and sale that you may want to check out on Saturday. And of course, last night, I went to another live performance that blew me away. I'm going to tell you what it was, and I'm going to tell you why you may want to consider checking out the next and final performance. But first, the news, of course. Let me put them on. Hold on just a second. There you go. SEAPAL has announced restricted access along Avenida Mexico for a week and a half, starting yesterday, due to improvements on the clean water and drain pipes benefiting residents in the La Floresta neighborhood. This is happening along the stretch between Mangle Street and Avenida de los Poetas. If you don't know where that is, I'm going to show it to you. Here we are. Here's Puerto Vallarta proper. Here's the Maritime Terminal. And this is the neighborhood where the work is currently being done. So if you're going to be driving through that neck of the woods, just be mindful of that. Now, the newly increased highway tolls in the region have some drivers that use the highways on a regular basis, and many tourists planning upcoming trips during Semana Santa having to make hard decisions as to which roads to choose. Particularly affected are destinations such as Rincón de Guayabitos and La Peñita de Jaltemba, whose target markets are those seeking more affordable vacation options than here in Puerto Vallarta. Travel agents, as well as hotel and restaurant owners, have commented that the tolls are truly expensive, and many drivers will continue to reach these destinations by taking the free or toll free road, and I am not at all surprised. How much is it, for example, to go from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara? Well, Informador just published an article that has a breakdown of the three options of the road and their cost. The free highway or toll free highway, of course, is the one that goes from Guadalajara towards Mascota and Las Palmas to reach Puerto Vallarta, and there's no cost at all to use this highway. Then there's the toll highway, which we've been using all along, or at least during the last 10, 15 years or so, excluding all the new stretches that have opened between Compostela and Puerto Vallarta, and that will set you back 669 pesos each way. And finally, there is the toll highway, which includes all the new stretches that have opened between Compostela and Puerto Vallarta, and that will set you back 1,063 pesos each way. So that's just some food for thought as to what choices you are going to take if you are driving. Meanwhile, VivaAerobus has increased their number of flights to Guadalajara from 7 to 16 flights per week, strengthening the connectivity with our city. Would you fly to Guadalajara or not? Well, I did a quick search, random search of tickets just for curiosity for a round trip leaving Puerto Vallarta on a Thursday in a couple of weeks from now and returning the following Sunday. Of course, you know that airline ticket prices vary from day to day and from week to week, but this particular search I conducted this morning just for the kicks returned a round trip ticket price of 1,856 pesos, including all taxes, or over 900 pesos each way. So that's 200 pesos higher than the bus. And of course, it is subject to availability. So that I did a little bit of homework just for the sake of it. I personally, as you know, continue to choose to take the bus over other options. And if I was to drive to Guadalajara or back and I had time in my hands, I would choose the free highway simply because there are awesome little towns to make a stop at along the way. And this is the first batch of news. Let us turn over to the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. Of course, it would help if I turn the weather. Hold on just a second. Ooh, nice. I forgot to turn the weather on. Here we go. Today is the perfect day to start a what? Today is a perfect day to start a second family in another town. Okay. Well, I don't know about that. I think it's a perfect day to go out for a walk because humidity is low at 28%, but don't let me get ahead of myself. It is 26 degrees Celsius right now, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 78 at present time. Our weather forecast for today says partly cloudy through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 18. Tomorrow, Friday, we can expect a partly cloudy day with a high of 29 and a low of 19. And of course, Saturday will be another partly cloudy day with a high of 30 and a low of 19. And that is our weather forecast for today. Moving right along, what do we have? Oh, yes, I received a really sweet note yesterday from artist Bart Pass, who realized that we were talking about his beautiful taqueria painting on the broadcast. He was amazed, he said, like an out-of-body experience. And I thought it was really funny because I had not had the pleasure of meeting Bart in person until, and he reminded me of this, he attended my Mexican music presentation at the Joint Co-working Hotel. And I remember having a conversation with him at the time. And I tell you, had I met him before and had I seen his painting before my lecture, I would have blushed like a schoolgirl because I absolutely loved the painting. As I wrote on the show notes yesterday, I hope his beautiful work finds a good home. I also received a lovely note from our cluster friends, Alex and Steve, telling me about an event taking place at the Cultural Center. It says our lovely friend Ernesto is taking painting classes at the Cultural Center on the Isla Cuale. They had a show a couple of weeks ago, but are doing one on Saturday without all the fanfare and speeches. I love that. Some really amazing artists at varying levels. Then he adds, I haven't been able to find anything on Facebook, so it might not be a recognized scheduled event. Your call on whether you share it or not. Well, not only was I happy to share it, but I was actually able to find something on Facebook. I found it on the Instituto de Cultura or Art Institute's Facebook page, indicating that it will be an exposition of and sale of both paintings and drawings that will take place this Saturday between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. So if you're out and about at the market on Saturday, consider just taking a small detour over to the Cultural Center. As we mentioned yesterday, even if you are not presently shopping for art, it's eye candy. It's good for the soul to see what's happening out there. So I strongly recommend it if you're going to be in the vicinity of the Isla this coming Saturday morning. I also wanted to let you know that production of a new motion picture has begun in El Tuito, which, as you know, is the head of the Cabo Corrientes municipality in a town 1 hour south of Puerto Vallarta. The film is called La Casa Azul, or The Blue House, and it is directed by Brazilian Claudio Callao and stars Venezuelan actor and singer Carlos Mata, who has appeared in over 25 soap operas that have been broadcast in over 60 countries. The article features a telephone number that you can contact via WhatsApp should you be interested in participating in the production as an extra or maybe as crew. So there you have it for film lovers. Here is an opportunity. Now, I want to tell you about a show I went to last night at Encanto, and I'm going to tell you what the show was. The show was The New Belters, starring Seth Sykes and Nicholas King. They presented the swinging American songbook with Mark Hartman at the piano. And it was absolutely stunning. And and I find it difficult to find the words just because it just happened last night and I'm still processing. But I'm going to tell you some takeaways that I had. Well, first of all, you have to consider these two gentlemen. One of them is the protege of Liza Minnelli and has been for many, many years. The other one was mentored by the late and fantastic Stephen Sondheim. One of them is more of a show tune singer. The other one is more of a jazz singer and an excellent scat singer. And I kept thinking to myself, this afternoon you have a jazz lecture workshop and you're going to be talking about scat singing. How inspiring to go listen to these two perform. And of course, then you have Mark Hartman, who is a sought-after piano player who has won important accolades in the New York cabaret scene, who is also an excellent musical producer and director. And what was amazing about this performance? Well, for starters, it was a textbook for any singer in town that is looking to learn how to craft a beautifully produced performance. It totally raised the bar for any other singers or vocalists in town. What do I mean by that? The show was cohesive. It was nonstop entertainment. There was a clear beginning overture to what they were doing. There were some songs that they sang together. Then they turned over the stage to one another in song I mean, just about everything they said, save for a couple of comments, they turned it into a song. They changed lyrics to songs we know to introduce one another. They played on each other's strengths and weaknesses. Nicholas being the strong jazz improviser, and Seth, for example, not knowing how to do scat singing the way Ella Fitzgerald did in so many of her songs, for example. And what did they do? They turned it into a musical number. I mean, it was just spectacular. Now, let us talk about value for a second. It's a good thing that Puerto Vallarta has a little bit of everything for everyone, or for most people. In the case of going to live shows, it is the same thing. You know, you can go and enjoy two vocalists and a pianist that have appeared in the finest cabaret stages in New York City for around 600 pesos. And what do you get? You get quality musicianship, you get live vocals, you get, oh, and parenthetically, 3 times I heard the expression coming from the stage, thank you for supporting live music. And this was live music. There was no staging because it was not needed. There were no dancers because they were not needed. You were completely absorbed by the music created by these 3 individuals for 600 pesos. Now, there's another venue that has a show for roughly the same amount of money, in which the singer has tracks and some staging and some fog and maybe some background dancers. So what do you get there? Well, you get more visuals, but you get no spontaneity, at least not from the music track, because it is pre-recorded. And then there's another venue that has a singer singing to tracks without staging, without nothing, doing a tribute to a pop singer, but this will cost you 200 extra pesos. Maybe you enjoy the music by the tributee, or maybe not. And I'm not going to sit here and shade one type of performance against another. All I am going to tell you is that if you want to see a quality concert, a quality performance, the type you would enjoy in New York City's finest cabaret shows, I need to tell you that you need to catch this broadcast on its last, this performance on its last night, which is going to be on March 15. And although I haven't had the pleasure to hear or to watch his only show, I know that Nicholas King did a solo performance, and he's coming back for another solo encore performance on March 16. All of this is happening at Encanto, which seems to have found a groove with these types of performances as far as I can tell. So again, if you want singers and dancers and light shows and other things, there's something for you. But if you want quality vocalists, there is something for you too. A quick reminder, just because we're here, I'm not going to remind you of my lecture anymore because it's today. I hope to see you there. Oh, I guess I just reminded you of it. But I also want to remind you that the Wine Expo is coming up this weekend on Saturday, I believe. And of course, on Sunday, we have this thing, this pop-up art, handmade art and craft show from Hecho a Mano going on at Whiskey Kitchen. I know that I'm definitely going to be there, and I hope to bump into you. All this said, let's take a look at your comments, and we'll take it from there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Good mornings all around. Thank you so much. Judy says, finally a live show. Well, it's great to see you again, Judy. Thank you for your comment. Boom, beam, boom, boom, boom. Pam, 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 pam. 35 days till we arrive in paradise. Linda, good for you. Oh, great. Thank you very much for that, Chris. I'm happy to report our experience at Miss Maloya Grill was terrific. The pizza was outstanding. Service was spectacular, along with the ambience. The clouds on the horizon kept away a beautiful Sunday. sunset, but that won't stop us from returning. Thank you very much. Again, I keep hearing great things about the Mismaloya Grill restaurant. It's a little bit out of my region, but it's good to know. Maybe one of these days we'll have a meal over there. Boom, bim, boom. More good mornings, more good mornings. Christy remarks on the show that is taking place this weekend at the Institute of Culture. My dear friend Joe takes classes there and had some beautiful pieces in the show a couple of weeks ago. Well, I suppose what happened a couple of weeks ago, they had they must have had the official opening, because the reference was made to all the speeches. But this Saturday might be a good deal to catch it and check out what's available. Maddie, it's great to see you. It's great every time I see the Jameses. I think about wonderful pizza in El Tuito, and I can't wait to go back. Let's see. Lisa says, love Encanto. I don't particularly love Encanto, but I do love the performers that they are bringing into town. I don't dislike Encanto. I mean, for me, it's not about the venues. It's about the performers that make the venues. For better or worse, Encanto has attracted these spectacular live music performances. There are live music performances in other venues as well, but Encanto seems to be leading with quality performances that are completely live, where you can focus on nothing but the music. I'm not saying that other choices are bad. Again, there's something for everyone. Pudding, pum, ping, pum, ping. Chris also mentions that if you want to go to Mismaloya Grill, it helps to make a reservation ahead of time on Facebook. I have been toying with the idea of spending a day in Mismaloya Beach just chilling, sitting under a palapa and having a nice lunch. So maybe if I do that, maybe I'll follow that up with a nice dinner at Mismaloya Grill before coming back into town. I'm not sure, but that idea is circling my mind. And this seems to bring us to the end of our broadcast today. Again, thank you for supporting live music. And thank you for those of us who have attended my music lectures in the past. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show you the difference between ordinary and extraordinary music to the best of my ability. I'm really excited about my lecture this afternoon. And a couple of weeks from now, we're going to have another lecture. And then we're going to have a lecture on all things related to the musicals, both on stage and on screen. Never a boring moment around Coffee and Headlines headquarters. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow, and if not, sometime soon.